Hey everyone, Matthew Moran here. We're going to talk songs about sex and songs about greed. There's no more human condition than those two things. And the reason I'm going to talk about those is the next two songs I'm working on, which were selected by Deb. One is about sex and one is about greed. And so I will tell you the one about greed. It's called Good Love, which seems like an odd title about greed, but you'll understand it because I'm going to play the chorus for you. That's a stretch, so I can't promise within 2 weeks I have that done. But the first song, The Night Is Not For Sleeping, that's a song I used to perform out quite a bit that has never really seen the light of day in a recording. And I just haven't sat down. I started it, and I'm probably going to take that recording and start to build on it. Really cool riff. We'll go through that in a minute. But the other human condition, the one that I talked about in my last video, is confidence. I'm going to share a story. I'm going to tell on my girlfriend a little bit. Deb is a photographer. She's good. But as with most creatives, as with me, probably as with you, she can lack confidence at times. And so this is what occurred recently. She was hired to do an event by a friend of ours who has a media company, and to photograph kind of boots on the ground, just people at tables, different reactions to speakers, some of the speakers, just moving around the event, getting shots that they're primarily using for social media. These are not portraits, no flash could be used even though it was indoors, no fill light, it just was no setup. This was just, run and gun, get shots. And so she did that dutifully. We turned the memory card over. She had no chance to edit her photos. They were taking everything. And about a day later, the person who hired her sent a message and said, the pictures are great, everything came out good, they're super happy. And then about 2 days later, Deb started going through the photos on her own, just taking, because she has 2 cards in her camera, so she gave them one card, she kept the other card. And she came to me just going, these photos are awful. My ankles were wrong. I wasn't, just whatever. She shot a few hundred pictures. So this is, and I said, she said they were good. She said they're happy. Be satisfied. She goes, I'm never going to be hired again by her to do this. And she just really went to a rough spot. And so I just called the person up and I go, hey, I just, I have a question for you. How were those pictures really? There's a little bit of doubt going on here. She looks over them and she called me right away and said, the pictures were great. Like, I don't know what she's thinking. They're excited. They're already talking about hiring us for the next event. And definitely I have other things I want to use her for, so she's going to be hired. And it's kind of a lesson, because the reality is, while I'm telling on my girlfriend about this, I just released The Coward and the Fool as an acoustic song. And I talked about it in my last video how when I was recording the song, I had a good guitar sound and a scratch vocal, and then I started going, I'm going to add a bass, and there are some videos actually on the channel of the bass I added. It sounds good. Then I started adding a shaker and a tambourine and an electric guitar, and pretty soon the song was not an acoustic song. The recording dragged out for, weeks rather than me getting the song released. And then I sat down and I said, I'm doing exactly the thing I said I wasn't going to do. And yesterday I released the song to streaming services. I use DistroKid. We'll do a video about that sometime in the future. And I released the song, and it's out on YouTube Music. I'll have links in the video if you want to check it out. I have a video of it, a lyric video. And we're already planning a video shoot and have that all kind of sketched out. We know where we want to shoot it and the idea of what we want to do. And that'll be my first official music video, which that's going to be a stretch. That's going to be something that's going to kind of play on the emotions of confidence and all that stuff. But literally the day I was set to release it, yesterday, as I was getting ready to release the final product, I'd listened to it the night before, really enjoyed it. Then I listened to it with new ears the next day and I thought, I should really fix that vocal part. Maybe I can make the guitar sound a little better here. I just started going through all of it and telling myself I shouldn't release it. And I realized in doing that, and I'm going to point to a video by, I think it's called WheezyNews. This guy's pretty funny, where he talks about a couple things: not giving a shit and making lots of things. And this is in line with the other videos I shared last week. And it's really an important message that I've stated I'm going to release these acoustic songs, and that perfection isn't the goal. I want to do great, but also just in the process of completing, you get better at things. And I could sit there and try and fine-tune one song and just grind it and grind it and grind it, and I'm going to grow significantly less than if I just released the song. So anyways, that's the message. Is even though I was telling on my girlfriend, the fact is I'm telling on myself. I'm probably telling on you. You probably have the same issue. So if you're struggling with that, for sure, let me know. I'd like to encourage you to try and complete some things, get some things done. Be willing to put yourself out there. I think it's a super important trait for the creative person. All right. So anyways, I picked the next two songs that I'm going to work on. Once again, can't promise you that Good Love, the song about greed, is going to make it in 2 weeks. So I have another song lined up called I'll Make You Feel. It's kind of a country tune, and I'll probably do that around the same time as well. Really nice tune. But we're going to try Good Love, and the reason it's really challenging is it's got a rock and roll chorus, but it's got a rap for the verses. That's so far outside of my comfort zone. And but I'm going to try and do it. I'm really going to work on it and make a commitment to it. And it's wordy. I've got to get the cadence right, all these things. So we're just going to show you the chorus, and you can kind of see where that's going to go. I'll have the lyrics up for the rest of it as well. And then the other song we're doing is The Night Is Not For Sleeping. That's a song about sex that doesn't mention sex at all, right? So kind of a funny story about that. Once again, I'll just do a short segment so you can see how it's done or what it sounds like. And I'll have the lyrics up there, or I'll have them linked, I think, in the description. And what's funny about that is years ago when I wrote the song, I think I probably wrote it 2007, 2008, I'm guessing, maybe 2006, I'm not really sure. I know that it was early on because I played it at Inza Coffee House in Arizona. It was a coffee house, one of the first places I really played an acoustic showcase. It's where I met Jim Pipkin, a great songwriter in Arizona. And so I was playing this place. I played it at the open mic. The song carries. It's a cool tune. And two funny stories about it. And so there was somebody there watching who is another songwriter and good guitar player, and he came up to me and he goes, "Oh man, I really like that song. That's really cool, because I want to write something like that. You really inspired me to write a song like that." And maybe a week or two later, he comes back and he announces from the stage, "Hey, I heard Matt play a song that was about sex," and which already is very cringy that you announced that, but let the song tell the story. But then he proceeds to play a song that was so gross, so just no nuance. And I was sitting there just mortified that my name had been brought up. I was thinking, no, don't tell me that I helped inspire this song. My song bears no resemblance to this. I felt like I had to go home and take a shower. It was truly awful. That's the first thing. The next thing that I thought was kind of funny is years later I was out in Lancaster, and I'd gotten to know several people at a church out there that is primarily African American pastor, very arts driven, and they're not solely that. I played guitar there several times. But they're a lot of great performers. That's one of their kind of focuses is reaching people through the arts, which I really admire, and amazing performers. I mean, the way I met them is I was walking down the street during some event out there, and they were outside their building and having some people perform, and I heard some singers. I was like, holy cow, who are these people? Started talking to them. So I got to know them, and I'd play guitar there with them, sometimes play either at church or during performances that they would have. And so I was playing the riff to this song, The Night Is Not For Sleeping, which once again, just remember it's really about sex. And this guy, Brandon, he's kind of does hip hop, and he was listening to it and he goes, oh my gosh, can I get a recording of that? And so we went into the recording booth right then, that day, and just set up a microphone, and I went through the riff. He was looking for a more straight beat than the kind of blues cadence that I had on it, but he wanted the straight rhythm of this chord progression. And so we recorded that, and he proceeded to later produce and write a kind of a gospel hip-hop song around that same riff, which I always thought was kind of funny that my riff, a song about sex, was being played at church somewhere. So those are the two stories. But anyways, I want to show you these songs, just the little pieces of it, and then I'll come back with a quick little message. But you can check out both of these songs, so let's take a look. Just past midnight, I come slipping through the door. I know you're sleeping, but I can't ignore your quiet breathing and your silhouette sublime. The night is not for sleeping. The night is not for sleeping. Your back, your neck. Everybody want good love, good love. Everybody want cash. Everybody want a life that's full. Everybody want to make it last. Everybody need belly full. Everybody need it to breathe. Ain't it funny how the more we get, what becomes a need? Everybody want good love, good love. Everybody want cash. Everybody want a life that's full. Everybody want to make it last. Everybody need belly full. Everybody need it to breathe. Ain't it funny how the more we get, what becomes a need? Those are the songs I'm working on this week. I haven't played you I'll Make You Feel at all. But once again, like I said, Good Love is going to be a stretch for me. I have to do a lot of work to get it right, more vocally, but also just the performance and delivery. It's a more kind of choppy riff that I need to do when it gets to that part of the verses. But that's what we're going to be working on. Hope you found this interesting. If you did, like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much, and we'll be back at you in a few days. See ya. Everybody want good love, good love. Everybody want cash. Everybody want a life that's full. Everybody want to make it last. Everybody need belly full. Everybody need it to breathe. Ain't it funny how the more we get, what becomes a need?